Hey guys,
Thanks.
we're joining you tonight. If you know this song, put it in the comments. Right now our kids would be like, this is so cringy.
Cringy.
Hey Jennifer, yeah, you made it.
Got
You're
the kids
putting
in
the
bed.
to bed. Yeah. Do you know what song this is, Jennifer? If you do, put it in the comments.
Watching Blair lip sync is like a bad kung fu movie.
Oh my gosh, it's so bad 'cause I'm always off. So bad. How many of you, this is my question for everybody, how many of you know all the words of songs, or you just like kind of know them?
Or you kind of make them up.
Kind of make them up, right?
It's okay.
Hi Cliff, welcome.
You're still cute when you do it, baby.
Aw, thanks.
Seriously.
Well, we're so excited that you guys are joining us tonight because we have 3 marriage tips that will 10x your business. Hey Lisa, good to see you too.
What's up, Lisa?
We're so excited to have you guys hopping on. Oh,
Cliff, of course Cliff knows it.
I mean, he
course.
has all girls.
He probably knows the words too.
He probably does. He probably sees
How
the
many
dance with his kids.
concerts have you been to, T Swift?
I know his girls are a little younger. He might not have been to a concert yet. But yeah, he definitely knows them.
Hey,
Hi, Janine.
Janine.
Yeah.
Janine. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, Janine.
It took him a second, Janine, to be like, oh, Janine. Okay, so we're super pumped because tonight's going to be all about 3 marriage tips to 10x your business. They'll help you no matter what, but we're really excited to share them with you guys tonight. But do us a favor. I know a lot of people at this time of night are putting their kids to bed. Cliff does know all the words, by the way, people to Blank Space Taylor Swift. We might have to have a
T Swift sing off.
Totally. That would be so much fun.
That would be a blast.
Okay, so I want you guys
Love
to
it.
put and let us know if you're watching it in replay as well. And
Hashtag replay.
right, so let's introduce ourselves.
Okay.
Go ahead, you can go first.
I'm Ryan.
He's really excited. And I'm Blair, and
We are.
Better Together.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
For sure.
And we have a group called Marriage Movement that we
Yes,
have
we do.
created starting last spring to just help people realize that they are better together.
It's a crazy community.
Right? It's an awesome group. If you're already in
A lot of
Marriage
fun.
Movement, drop it below. Put an emoji or what you love about it. We'd love to hear. But I'm super excited tonight to get right to business and talk with you guys a little bit.
Shocker.
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 So how many of you guys know the personality? There's so many different kinds of personality ones. My favorite, though, is the one Danelle Delgado taught me, which is about 4 different animals. So it's either you're a dolphin, you're a shark, you're an urchin, or you're a whale, right? So I'm 100% when it's time for business, a shark. Like, get to the point, do the business, get it done. As soon as you think about it, do it, right? That's my personality.
Then you can dolphin.
But I'm also very dolphin because I love to have a good time. I love to have fun, but I have to kind of compartmentalize things. And those of you that know me from business, you totally know that, right? Because when we go away on trips, I'm like fun and crazy and wild Blair.
Is this all your business crowd?
No.
Have they seen the new background?
I don't know. Have you guys seen this new background? We did like one live, I think, with it.
See, so I'm more dolphin. She's all shark, get to business.
Yeah.
But I keep it fun and playful, like the lighter side of Blair.
Yes.
I get to see that as well. So that's why we're better together.
So true.
That's it.
That's it. You're definitely
I just
a whale.
chime in.
And you're definitely some whale. Okay.
What's a whale? Is that like you want to help others?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm very helpful.
Yes.
How can I help you?
Yeah, he is very helpful.
I should just serve at Chick-fil-A. I love to say my pleasure. How can I serve you?
We're totally getting off topic.
It'd
Okay.
be my pleasure.
So 3 marriage tips to 10x your business.
Yes.
Let's get this started. Wait a minute. First of all, I'd love to know from our community of people that are watching, even if you're watching on replay, do you work with your spouse?
Ooh.
And if you do not work with your spouse, do both of you work in your home? Because I feel like nowadays, more often than not, both partners, both spouses are working full time, right? So it's a double income home. And I feel like we're getting to a new wave of life where the male and the female are both helping out in the home, right? That wasn't something that like my parents really did.
Right.
Your parents did. His dad's like amazing.
Right.
My dad's amazing, but that just like was not his thing because he never saw it in his home.
Yeah.
So anyways, it's just really interesting. So I think that as you guys are listening to this, it'll be interesting to see who already does.
So yes, I would say drop in the comments if you work together. Both work together would be 1. Both work would be 2. And number 3 would be, are you both entrepreneurs? Because to me, having 2 entrepreneurs in the house is
in the
like
house.
in the house is like chaos, right? So Blair is in
It's creative chaos.
network
Oh,
marketing.
you wanted me to say what I did. Okay,
We're
I'm
off
following that.
wavelength anyway. And I own a real estate business. So both of us have very flexible schedules,
Yes.
which can be awesome.
You can also be a little wonky.
Wonky. That's like your new word, baby.
Wonky.
Wonky.
I like that word. Okay.
All right, let's get to it.
Started. So
We
what is
promised.
the first marriage tip that will help them 10x their
Massive
business?
value. Okay, communication. Number one, communication, set expectations. And before all my podcast junkies, Audible book junkies tune me out like you've heard everything there is to say about communication, I will just ask you this question. Are you implementing it?
Ooh.
Are you taking action on it? Ugh. It's kind of like a jab, right? Yes, we all know that communication is important and setting proper expectations are important, but are you doing it? And here's how we do it.
Okay, so when we talk about communication, it has to first start with like, what are you trying to share with your spouse, right?
Sorry.
So you have to know, like, what is it that you want out of your business or your career? So I want you first to think about, sometimes people have multiple things they're running after, right? Because I know a lot of people in network marketing do it as a part-time and then because they're really trying to get out of their full-time, right? So as I'm talking about this, I want you to really think about like, what is the business, the career, the job that you are wanting to run for, okay? Then you have to think about what do I even want out of it? How can I even communicate to my spouse about what my goals are, what I want to achieve if I don't even know, right? So I'm going to share with you guys from the business side a little bit. Communication is essential, and you have to be able to communicate with your partner about what you want and what you want to achieve and how and the purpose and all that stuff. But it only works if you know what the goals are.
Okay, so I just
jump in
yes,
real
I just
quick?
want to jump in and ask. So, drop in the. Was that a signal, or did you just kick me?
You can't ask too many questions.
Oh.
You already asked some questions. Sorry.
I love asking questions.
I know.
How many of you have individual goals right now?
That's a good question.
Thanks, babe. Approval.
Yeah, I just making sure you weren't going to like drop a 1, 2, 3.
No, I was just going to say, how many of you have individual goals? I highly recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
You may continue.
So now here's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to, number one, okay, so you know the first marriage tip is communication, but underneath communication, I want you to think about this. First, I want you to think about what are you, like, determine why are you doing it? What are you trying to get to, right? So if it's a promotion at work, if it's going back to school so that you can get a promotion, if it's running for a certain rank in your company, whatever, selling a certain amount of houses, okay? Determine why you're doing that. What is the goal that you set and why are you doing it? Like, get really deep down, like, why? And it's okay to be like, because I want to find some purpose in this or I want to find success in this. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with whatever you write down about that, okay?
Being fulfilled.
Yep. So there's no judgment with it. It's setting the goal, deciding why are you doing it? What is your purpose and passion for doing it? Really think about this. And this is before you're even talking to your spouse, guys. What's the goal? Why are you doing it? What's the purpose and passion behind it?
And you want
And
to
then-
tie an emotion to that and a feeling. That's what Blair means when she says go deep. It's got to make you feel, yearn,
Yes.
chill bumps. It's got to be something so special to you that no matter what, you're going to keep going after it.
Yeah. So if you don't know what that is yet, Simon Sinek in his Go for the Why, I love that he talks about, like, keep asking yourself questions. So if the first thing is, I want to get to car bonus in my company. Okay, why do you want to get to car bonus? Because I want to be able to have my car paid for this month. Okay, why? What would that help your family achieve? What would that feel like? How would it feel when your family was proud of you? What would that look like financially? What would that look like for other people watching, right?
Yes.
How would that help your team? So you got to, like, really keep going layer until you get to the true feeling where you're like overflow. I'm not talking about crying because I'm not a big crier, but like
I would.
yeah, he would. But like a true feeling of what is it that I'm trying to evoke? What's that emotion, right?
Yes.
So what would change in your life if you hit that goal? Right? So you're writing down the goal. You're writing down why are you doing it. You're writing down your purpose and your passion. And you're writing down what would change in your life if that happened and how would it help your family. Okay, so I'm really digging deep with all of these things and I hope you're writing them down because these are the things that you need to answer before you could get to the communication piece with your spouse. Then
clear.
you got to go, hey, honey, I really want to talk to you about something, when in the next 24 hours or 48 hours can we talk about it? We're not backing the person into the corner, right? This is part of my personality, so I'm speaking on it. Ryan has to process things. I like to talk about them immediately. When an idea pops in my head, like, I want to talk about it right now. I want to do it right now. That's my personality, where he's a processor. So you have to allow your spouse to have that time to be like, yeah, you know, when can we talk in the next 24 to 48 hours? I have something really important I want to share with you. They'll let you know when they're free and open, and guess what? They're going to be way more open and encouraging in that moment. Then you're using the communication that Ryan just said, and you're listing out those things. Hey, I want to share with you this goal that I really want to achieve. Here's why I want to achieve it. Here's the purpose and the passion behind it. Here's what it's going to do for us, or here's what it's going to change, and here's what it's going to do for our family.
Right. So,
see how we communicated that?
Yes. So be very, very, very clear in your own mind, and have, like, I don't want to say all your ducks in a row, but have all your ducks in a row, like an attorney presenting a court case, especially if you're in different industries, and especially if it's something that your spouse, or, you know, if you're in a relationship or whatever, if it's something that they don't understand, like, what's an auto bonus? What's this compensation? What does all this mean? You need to be able to explain that. So just, you know, take the time. It's worth it. It will help you connect with that goal, because whether or not your spouse goes along with it, like when Blair presented it to me, it was clear. She was excited about it. Her eyes lit up. She had this whole sales presentation of why this goal was important to her, what it would do for her individually, and what it would do for our family.
And before we get on to number two, when Ryan was just saying that, what it made me think of is kids, right? Think about a teenager or a young kid. Like, they are ready with what they're going to say, right? I know I've heard from some of you guys before that your kids have like PowerPoints to show you what they want for the holidays, or to show you why they deserve to get that car, right? I mean, think about it like that. You've got to also be coming from that same point. Like, if it's that purpose and passion behind it, you've got to share that. It's got to be more than just, I want to do this. I want the achievement. Like, you've got to dig a little deeper. All right, let's share number two.
So marriage tip number one was communication, expectations. Number two is money.
Show
me the money, okay? In marriage, there's nothing that can cause stress outside of death or disease or anything like that than money, right? You have to know your numbers. You have to track your numbers, set a budget, okay?
I can't, all these songs are coming to my head right
that you agree to. And then the funniest thing is, every time I hear the word budget, Blair and I have,
different views.
Yeah, different. Well, the way I deal with the budget is I just say, go make more. So here's what we're going to spend on a monthly basis. How much money do we need to make in order to get that?
Right.
How do you feel about that? Yeah.
Okay.
So see, we've communicated that we
I'm
kind
like,
of
are we talking about that?
Yeah, we kind of have different.
Probably should do a live on that.
Yeah,
actually.
we kind of have different views on money, but we know our numbers.
Right. Totally. So the first thing was communication, right, and setting up your goals and exactly what you're going to talk about with your spouse. But the second thing is money. But here's what you really got to know. Ryan kind of touched on a minute ago. Do you understand the compensation plan, or how you're earning? Even back when I was a teacher, I knew that each year how much more I was going to make. And I was able to say to Ryan, well, if I retire in 20 years, this is how much I'll be making. If I retire in 30 years, how much I'm going to be making. This is why I need to go back and get my master's. If I decide to get my master's, it's going to increase it by this. You have to understand and explain it to your spouse, because they might not be in the same industry as you, right? So you've got to make sure that you know exactly how much you can make. And then you have to be able to understand your compensation plan and the bonuses that you're running for to explain it to your spouse, right? Obviously network marketing is my passion in my heart, so that's the one that I think of the most.
So can I give an example?
Go ahead.
So just having been in corporate world and also in, a sales environment, maybe it's not network marketing, but if there's a promotion that you're going after, you have to put in extra time at the office, right? So know your numbers. If you communicate that, then you can set the proper expectations. But it always goes better if you know, hey, honey, yes, I have to do this up front, but here's what it's going to mean at the end of the year when I get this huge bonus.
Right.
We're going to be able to do this, this, and this, right? Yeah. So I set a goal. I worked out all of the numbers, and now continue.
Right.
And
a great example of that is also when you decide to become a real estate when you decided to become a real
Open
estate
real estate
agent
company. Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
then decided to become a real estate broker, he had to study, right?
Oh.
So he was like gone for a week studying and then taking these classes and then getting his license. And
I
you
did
know,
pass the
you
first
did
time.
pass. We had to sit down and talk about like, okay, well, this is why I want to do this. This is how financially it's going to help us. So the other thing you want to make sure is explain like, what will this money be for? Right? So it's not just like, oh, I want to earn this money because I just want to like, you know, go off and have a bunch of girls trips, right? It's this money is going to help,
though.
but I do love my
You
girls
do
trips.
love your girls'
Yes.
trips.
But you also are explaining like this is why, this is where the money can go to, or let's talk
Yes.
about where the money will go, what we'll do with the money,
Mhm.
how it will work.
One
Right?
of the biggest things for me with the, you know, the trips and everything and all these bonuses and this and that is kind of like, what does that mean in real numbers? Like in real money. So yes, all this is coming in, but are you spending anything on supplies? Like what's the net? You know, what's the net
Right.
takeaway? And my guess is in most relationships, there are opposite personality types. And so we both look at money and spending different. So if you have everything laid out, it's awesome for your marriage, which makes it awesome for your business.
So true. And I love that you brought up that example. And earlier when Ryan and I were talking about this and working through like what we wanted to share with you guys, one of the examples that he brought up is I'm in the kind of company where we earn trips. We actually can earn 3 a year, right?
Mhm.
So whenever I earn a trip, I get mine included with airfare. But he's like, when you first started, you didn't. And remember, I'd be like, well, how much is that really going to cost us? Like, yeah, you might have earned that trip, but how much is the flight going to cost us? What else are you going to be spending when you're there? Like, what's that going to cost us? So you have to be upfront and honest with your spouse about the cost, and also be open to their feedback. If they're like, you know what, we don't have that money right now. I see why you think it's valuable for you to go, but we also need to, you know, talk that through.
Right. So I'm just curious, how many of you have had those money talks in your household? How did you do? You know, rate yourself on a scale 1 to 10.
We've had some doozies. We've had some ones.
Had some ones.
We've had some tens.
We have had some tens.
Yeah, we've had some great tens.
I think in the last 5 years, as we've grown and learned together and got more clear about our goals, then we're always at the upper end on the scale. Now, we don't always hit our goals, but shoot for the moon, hit the stars.
I also think our communication is better.
Oh my goodness.
So like
It's
that
been better in
helps.
the last 6 months.
Right, totally. Okay,
We're
so
we're
let's
starting
share
to
tip
understand
number
each
3,
other.
right? Tip number 1 was
Communication.
communication and setting the goal and explaining it well, right?
Yep.
Number 2 is money,
all about the money.
right? Making sure you understand it so that you can explain it, making sure it's discussed and talked about.
Know your numbers.
Know your numbers.
What does it mean in real money?
Yep.
Number 2.
What's number 3?
Number 3 is together goals. Okay?
It's my favorite.
This is the best. If you're not listening, if you tuned out or you're just tuning in, this is by
You
far
got bored with us.
bored. They can't get bored with us. We are so entertaining. Wow, I'm telling you. Anyway, so this is the best one, a together goal. Our relationship changed when we did a together vision board. And it was like 6 months ago, 7 months ago. It was our first ever together vision board. Because when I know Blair's goals, it's one thing, right? I know she's going after, you know, this huge bonus at work, or she needs to get some more promoters, or Blair knows, hey, I've got, you know, I got to do some prospecting, get some real estate sales going. Then she can celebrate those wins with me, or I can celebrate her achieving her individual goal. But there's nothing like being able to celebrate a together goal.
Okay. So I'm going to reverse really quick.
I went too far. I said too much.
Uh-huh. So let's
She
reverse.
was kneeing me under the
like,
table, but I
sorry.
thought she was just trying to get touchy.
So let's reverse for a
Okay,
second,
right,
okay?
Okay.
So number 3 is really getting everybody on board,
Mm.
right? So it's getting your spouse on board because now you've communicated, now you guys have discussed it, you've shared your goals, you've shared your vision, you've shared what your hopes and dreams, purpose, passion are. Now you've gotten through the money talk, right? So the third one is getting everybody on board. Once your spouse is on board, then it's, okay, great. Then I like what you're saying. Let's do a vision board together. Let's plan it out together. You know, what is the time frame going to look like? How is that going to work? What do I need you to help me do in order to achieve that? So this is the part that I'm really passionate about, because people ask me quite often, like, what do you think made you go from, so just so you guys know, quick background on me. I was a kindergarten teacher, home for 5 years during our bankruptcy, needed to go back to teaching that fall. During that summer, I fell into Stella and Dot, which is a jewelry company,
Mhm.
and did pretty well. That Ryan was like, I think you should not go back to teaching and just see what can happen this year. That turned into 4.5 years later. And then I fell into trying a vitamin supplement that absolutely changed my health and Ryan's health. And I decided to jump ship and move over to the company that I'm with now.
Yes.
And when I moved over to the company that I'm with now, it was like the perfect storm. And here's one of the reasons why I feel like I've been super successful with this business. Yes, it's the product. Yes, it's the company. But there were other things that also lined up, and this is one of them. I learned my lesson. When I started with Stella and Dot, I was so excited about it. I was so thankful that when Ryan would come home at night, it was a party-based company. So Ryan would come home and be like, okay, you're on the kid duty. I'm running out to do this party with these ladies and sell a bunch of jewelry, right? But I would come home at night after the parties, and I was doing like 2 at least a week.
Kids were young. Kids were young.
The kids were really young. So it was like bath and reading books, and it's not just putting them to bed, right? But I would come home and the house would be a complete mess. And then I would be resentful. Instead of talking it through with him, I'd be like, well, what were you doing at night? He's like, I was playing with the kids. I was having fun with them. I put them to bed. I did this. And instead, I was resentful. I was staying up for an hour cleaning the house, getting their stuff ready for school the next morning, being frustrated and annoyed, right? And instead, when I started with Lavelle, I sat down and showed him, here's my goal at the business, like we talked about number 1, communicated it with him, got him on board. Second thing was I showed him exactly how much money we were going to make and how we could do it if I achieved my goals. And then I said, are you on board? And when he said yes, I said, then can I be very clear with what needs to happen on both sides? Right?
I had a list.
Yeah, it was like, I need your help with
perfect.
these things. And which nights are you going to work?
Perfect.
Because the nights that you're home, I'm going to need to, yes, I'm going to eat dinner with you guys. Yes, I'm going to pray with the kids before they go to bed and read them a book if they want me to. But in between those things, like when you walk in the door while the dinner's cooking, I'm going to go take some calls. After dinner, I'm back in my office working again. Until you say it's time for me to go tuck the kids in. Like I need, and then a couple nights a week, I'm going to go back to working again after the kids go to bed. Let's plan what night we're going to hang out together so we have that time. What nights are you working? So I'm in charge of the kids. And I was very open and clear on what needed to happen for both of us and make sure he was okay with it and I was okay with it. And that opened up us being on board.
Right. So how would that change your relationship right now, your marriage at home currently, if every Saturday or every Sunday, you guys sat down, and sometimes it takes us 30 minutes, sometimes 45. But honey, what does your week look like? Okay. When do you have big appointments? When do you have big sales calls? Where do you need me to fill in? Take the kids to school, pick them up, whatever it is absolutely liberating to know going into the week that if I do what I said I was going to do, then I meet 100% of Blair's expectations.
Right, and vice versa.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And here's the thing, your spouse is not a mind reader.
No.
So stop thinking they are and stop charging them as guilty for not being able to read your mind. Right? Instead, speak it.
Yeah, and I can tell you that just me and my personality, I will take as detailed instructions as you would like to give me.
Okay, but not all. Yeah, like we have some friends whose husbands do not like that.
So I just said it's my personality type.
No, I understand. So I'm just saying, like, make sure you know your spouse's personality type and how they like to communicate with you in that area. So the next thing is you got your spouse on board. You guys have talked about the different things, right? Yep. Now you want to get the family on board. So if you guys have children, the next step is then you two as a unit. This was
so fun.
Sit down with the kids. And you say, and we did this when we first started Lavelle, we're like, hey, this is why mommy's going to be working a lot. Here's how she's going to be working. Here's what I'm working towards. And when I meet this goal, and and I hope to do it in 4 months, which would be the end of November, where do you guys want to go? That's how we'll celebrate. And it was really cool. Like the kids picked out where they wanted to go, what they wanted to do that weekend. Of course, it was Universal in Orlando.
Yes, that was 1 year. But my favorite year, we saw something extremely special for 2 young boys. Blair was on one of her runs, and it happened to end up on Thanksgiving week. And the goal was, we're going to go to San Francisco and see a Golden State Warriors game. And I think it was 2015 or 2016, where it actually timed out perfect. So we were in Golden State and saw the Warriors break the NBA record for the most wins in an NBA season. Like, that's a memory that's epic. But what it took was the 4 or 5 months before that, all of us being on board, like, don't ask mom, ask dad, right? Here's what mom's going after. And hey, how about if you guys pitch in a little bit?
Right.
around the house.
Absolutely. And again, it can be vice versa, right? So that, but I love that. And so like one of the things that we really did was we mapped it out, right? Like how close are you? And guess what that did? That also held me accountable, because then the kids are always like, hey mom, how close are you to hitting that goal? You know,
Yes.
and Ryan's asking me, how close are you to that goal? Are we going to be going on that trip? Like, what's going on with this? And how's this going, right? So it really held me accountable. But guess what it really taught my kids? And this was super cool. The other day, I happened to get an email from Jack Canfield. If you guys have ever read Success Principles,
Is this a bonus tip?
it's a bonus tip. And I saw this amazing video of his on YouTube that he sent out an email, and it was the five tips to making your kids successful. One of the tips was show them a goal you're going for, write it down, and if it's a financial goal or something that you can like actually draw and fill it in as it goes along, do it. And show them what you're sacrificing, what you're doing to get there, and have them cheer you along the way. That teaches them when they get older how to do exactly the same thing. And isn't that what we all want, right? To teach our kids how to be independent, go out and do those things themselves.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so last
But wait,
thing,
I have more.
Sorry, go ahead.
So we also have these dramatic pauses where I collect my thoughts, and so it takes me a second.
And I think it's done.
And Blair thinks I'm done. Anyway, so the cool thing is just teaching your kids how to think, right? Oh, you want that? Okay, that's great. Well, how are you going to get it? Okay, so just instead of saying we can't afford it or that's too much money, well, how are you going to pay for that? How can, what would it take in order for you to get there?
Yep, that's a
So
Sharon Lecter quote.
Yes, it's a mindset.
Yep, Rich
A
Dad
mindset.
Poor Dad. Yeah,
Oh.
totally. It's from Rich Dad Poor Dad.
I just have all this information
I know.
in me. Oh my
That's
goodness.
okay. And then last thing, it's not one of the 3 tips, but it goes along with the last tip of getting everybody on board. Speak it as if you already have achieved it, right? So that goes along with the vision boards. We're setting up the vision boards. Do the vision boards as a family. Ryan and I did our boards together, and then each boy did their boards. I mean, just get
The
them
memory
involved,
was awesome.
right? Yeah, absolutely. All right, I think that was it.
That was it
Yeah.
already? It's so quick. Here, let's see if
I
I
know,
have any
take
people
it.
to say hi to.
Anybody want to? We got lots. Krista. Hey, Krista. Hey, Lisa. Haven't seen you in a long time. Love it. Cliff said they time block every Sunday afternoon so they know who is doing what through the week. Listen, they have girls.
And they live
They
on a farm.
homeschool.
They have
They have
goats.
animals.
Yeah.
They have pigs.
Pigs.
They have goats.
I heard the goats in one of Cliff's live under the tiki hut. He had goat. I'm telling you, Cliff, give me a thumbs up. I know you have a goat. I heard it. Heard it here first. All
What
right,
does
so
a goat sound like?
meh.
All I could think of is starting
That's a
where he was
sheep.
like,
Goat boy. No, goat boy.
Oh, it's goat boy.
Yeah, goat boy. Oh my goodness.
All right,
You can
sorry.
see what happens after 9 o'clock,
I know it's
people.
like witching time. All right.
All right, so communication, get your numbers right, then set a together goal. Imagine how that would change
Set the
your
goal.
relationship.
Money conversation. Get everybody on board.
Love it.
3 tips that will 10x your business. And I know that from personal experience because all those things that we just shared with you, we
We've
did
done.
when we started with Lavelle and when Ryan started with his real estate company, and it completely changed the trajectory of what we were doing. So
Yes, because we were clear about what we wanted.
totally. And
we
because
got
we
it.
are better
Better together.
together. Night, guys.
I thought you were coming in for a kiss.
No.
Mwah.